you all think of the film A Haunting in Venice? Were you a fan of this murder mystery by Kenneth Branagh? I would love to hear what you thought about this film down below, and don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Today we're talking about the 2023 sequel murder mystery film, A Haunting in Venice. In post-World War II Venice, famous detective Hercule Poirot, now retired, reluctantly attends a seance when one of the guests is murdered. So it is up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer. So when I first saw the trailer for this film, it looked like a really scary sort of like The Conjuring universe kind of film. And then halfway through the trailer, boom, there's Kenneth Branagh's face with that glorious, ridiculous mustache. And I went, what? This is a Hercule Poirot story? Okay.
I don't know what you're saying!
So I was a little taken back when I saw the trailer because I was expecting very much a horror film, something that was scary. I'm not the biggest fan of Murder on the Orient Express, nor am I of the sequel, Death on the Nile. I thought they were both just like okay kind of movies. They just haven't been the most exciting films. I think the execution of the movies, like the filmmaking and the style and the tone, is very well done. Kenneth Branagh has a great eye. Great cinematography, especially in this most recent film. But the murder mysteries are always a little bit underwhelming. While that might be the case again for this film, this movie really is a lot better than the other two.
Alright.
It made a great increase on the quality, the tone, the style, the execution, the performances. I love the setting that this is located in, Venice. Cinematography in this movie is top notch. Like, I think this might be the best looking film out of the three. Cinematography by Harris Zambarlukos is just fantastic. Kenneth Branagh directed the hell out of this movie. I thought he had the great tone to it. There are some really great creative ways that they shot, like the seance scenes and some of the mystery moments that are happening around the death, and even just the beginning and the ending of the film, and like the way they shot Venice. It's just gorgeous looking. All these movies have like a main centerpiece or a main location that this movie is set in, and I didn't think it quite works so well in Death of the Nile. In Murder on the Orient Express, the majority of it takes place on this train, and I really like that. In this film, though, I think it's the best. It's like this haunted mansion in the middle of Venice. Old building, kind of decrepit, run down in parts, but also very beautiful, huge, and yet they're all stuck in there and contained and locked in. And I love the feeling that this movie gives off, and I think it utilizes its location the best out of all three films so far. The performances are great. In fact, I think Hercule Poirot is the best portrayed in this film by Kenneth Branagh. He has so much depth and darkness and regret and sadness to his character, but also still has that jaunt to him that makes him interesting to watch on screen. This was where his character got to express the most personal turmoils of his own psyche, and we got to learn the most about him in a lot of ways. So this was a really cool film to see him pull off his acting chops in that part. And then also the supporting cast was amazing. Of course, Michelle Yeoh coming off her Oscar Academy Award winning for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Jamie Dornan, who Kenneth Branagh had collaborated with his personal dramatic coming-of-age film Belfast from 2 years ago. Kelly Riley is awesome in this movie. Tina Fey was really great. A little bit over the top at times, but also so is Poirot, so it kind of works in this setting. The small kid in the film, who's portrayed by Jude Hill, was awesome as well. Also, the tone of this movie, the fact that it's set sort of like a creepy thriller, haunting, scary, eerie horror kind of film, it just lends a better excitement and tone to the film overall than the other two, which are much more just like straightforward murder mystery kind of movies.
Step it up, find something new. You're boring.
This has that like just sprinkling of horror elements there, and I just think gives a little bit of flavor to its sauce.
That's a spicy meatball!
It's only an hour and 43 minutes long, so it actually is quite short. It's the shortest out of all three of the films. And another reason I think it works the best out of the three movies, because it's not very long. It's very concise. It doesn't deviate from the story very much. Now, I have to say, I wasn't really that scared in this movie. There's not a lot of scary parts. I think I was expecting it to be a bit more frightening than what it actually was. It's more of like the tone and atmosphere is like spooky and unsettling than it is like an actual horror film. So don't get too let down if you're a horror fan and you're going in thinking that like this is The Conjuring with Poirot. It's not quite like that. One of the things about this movie that kind of dragged it down though was the pacing. In fact, it's really a second act issue where it just slows down. The intro of this story, of the characters, the world that this is taking place in Venice, all that stuff, the lead up, the seance, and then when the murder happens, all of that is really great and exciting. The first 35-40 minutes of this movie, I thought it was the best setup out of all three films. I thought it was the best executed maybe of all three films. And then the second act does drag. Like there were parts where I was looking at my watch, I was checking out my phone, I was just getting a little bit antsy in there. And even though it's not a long movie, that part of the movie, just that like 25-30 minutes in the middle, just dragged a bit. I just wanted it to be a bit more solid in the center, because the ending, the last 25-30 minutes of the ending of this film is great when things are revealed, obviously. So it's a bit uneven at times, and it was a little bit of a drag on the movie.
I'm not gonna let you slow me down anymore.
Kenneth Branagh, as great as he is as Poirot, as awesome as he is as a director behind the scenes and behind the camera, when he is both the star of the movie and also the director, in his later years, his films are just okay. Like, they're never really that great in the end. I think the reason I loved Belfast so much is that Kenneth Branagh isn't in the movie, and he focuses on his talents and his skills behind the camera only, and he's not worried about a performance. And thus, I actually find he taps into performances a lot better with his actors, not just with himself, but with his other actors. And I felt like that in this film. I think there would be a little bit of better performances and a little bit better executed film. This isn't an incredible movie. I'm not preaching and saying that this is one of the best films of 2023. I'm not saying that at all. I just think that it was a good movie. It was entertaining. It was well thought out. The acting was pretty solid. There were some great thrills in it. Not really scary. The pacing was a bit uneven, sure. But overall, I had a pretty good time with it. I don't have that much negative or that much positive to say about the film. It was just pretty good. What did all of you think of this film? Were you a fan? Are you a lover of the Poirot series? Or do you think they're just kind of like, meh, alright murder mystery films? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. So overall, I'm going to go ahead and give A Haunting in Venice a B. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. T's Film Preach. Come back and check out some other videos like Bottoms, The Equalizer 3, and the top 10 most anticipated films that are left in 2023. Have a great day, everyone. Stay focused, stay awesome, and as always, let's get taught.